Hey guys, welcome back to the channel, and in this video I have another episode of Rank the Tank, which this month is going to be featuring tier 9 medium tanks. So as always, I will take 3 tanks and rank them accordingly against each other. So at number 3 we have the Object 430-2, which is the Russian medium tank. And yeah, basically I'm not gonna lie, this episode has been quite tough to decide what goes third, what goes second, and what goes first. Now, on this one you can see top right hand screen the equipment I'm running for the Object 432, and also you can see the perks in the top right hand corner, as I always put up for each tank. So equipment perks wise, sort of a bit of a typical mix for a medium, sort of the gun perks and also camo perks as well. And yeah, the Object 432, so the good parts, it's got some really good mobility, it's got very good camo, you've got good alpha of 320 per shot, with penetration of 264, and on your standard APCR rounds with 330 on your heat. Obviously the APCR and heat mix is something I really do like on a tank. You've got the best of both worlds, because obviously heat penetration is usually always good and you don't get that drop off over distance on your penetration values. It's got good APCR velocity, and it actually has quite good turret armor as well. So if you have the opportunity to go hold down, then you can bounce some rounds off of the turret. And again, with the equipment I'm running, I've sort of got the reload down actually to sort of quite a nice sort of reload speed. Just 5.3 seconds there. It's 8 seconds base, but yeah, we brought that down to quite a nice DPM amount. So the bad points of the Object 432 is it has 4 degrees of gun depression, and you've got that 90 degree yaw limit. You can see you can't fully traverse your turret. It stops halfway, which can be, it's not too much of a hindrance, not like sort of turretless TDs where you really can be restricted. Think of the Grom, where you've only got 5 degrees each side. So yeah, it's not a deal breaker to be fair, but it's just obviously something for newer players, if they've not played this tank before, to get used to. You're not going to be able to spin that turret all the way around. You'll need to move the hull with it. You've got 0.36 on your accuracy with 2.3 meters during turret rotation and a 2.3 second aim time. So on paper looks a bit derpy, but in actual fact it's not the end of the world. Again, it's you don't feel it too much, and obviously you got 380 meters view range because Russian tanks just can't see anything. So yeah, but overall, if I'm honest, when I played this tank, the limitations didn't really bother me. Yes, the gun depression was a bit of a nightmare, and this tank in some maps can be a little bit awkward to play, but you can see the DPM there. It's just really nice, just sort of poking up and getting shots into this Conway. So yeah, the map we're on at the moment is Kaunas, and unfortunately you see we're platooned up with Panda and Kingpin. Panda, I say unfortunately, and that's a good thing, but unfortunately Panda dies, so that's the unfortunate part I was trying to get to. It's not unfortunate we're platooned up with them. It's always good to have platoon mates in the game. Makes the game more enjoyable, and also you've got people to rely on to help you out. But unfortunately Panda goes down in the bar, and we've got Kingpin. Not entirely sure what Kingpin is running, TD of some description. We managed to take out that Tusk before that Tusk even remotely splashes us for any damage. Unfortunately Kingpin gets taken out there by the EBR 105. And yeah, we're actually bottom tier in this game, so we're sort of trying to be as careful as possible. EBR is now sort of yodeling around like a madman. I'm sorry that the game kind of glitched out a bit there. I think that probably was my trimming of the replays. Probably run out of space on the USB and quickly had to start a new recording, so there's probably a bit of a mash up on that video, so apologies for that glitch. We're not doing too bad score-wise. We're actually keeping the scores quite even. And Kaunas, again, not a bad map to be fair, because, you know, we can sort of put this tank into a position where it can, you know, kind of thrive. Unfortunately, we bounce a shot on that Conway there, but luckily for us, the Conway manages to miss. I'm going to try and see if we can line up a shot. Unfortunately, hit the gun mantlet, and yeah, we're struggling a little bit here, not going to lie. This is probably a point where we should potentially be loading heat, and there we go. We've finally got the memo. Hopefully, if we load the heat, we can then potentially pen the Conway in the gun mantlet. So I'm just poking out slightly with my turret, and there we go, we get the shot in. And fortunately for us, the Conway takes a blind shot, but it just goes wide of the tank, missing us, so it doesn't pen. We're doing pretty okay, to be fair. We're up to 2.7k damage, got 3 kills, 915 assist. And now we're going to move around and see if we can get some shots into these tanks over here. We've got this E50M, and you see we just bounced one of his rounds off of this tank. I'd say the hull isn't too bad either. It's not something I rely on, but you know, when you're sort of just keeping hull down, if they shoot you up a plate, there's a bit of an angle where it will just sort of kind of bounce there. So yeah, like I say, this episode's been quite tough because, you know, the tank's coming up. Equally, I think, just as good as the Object 432, and I don't know, I just found the limitations weren't too much of a problem for me. But you know, bearing in mind, obviously, you know, new players playing this tank, kind of factored that into how I've ranked these tanks against each other. You know, some players might just find the 430-2 slightly awkward to play, probably the best way to put it. So yeah, for me, I put it number 3 for those reasons. But overall, for me, I actually thought it was quite a good tank, to be fair, and I didn't mind playing it. Not as good as the Object 416 and Tier 8, though. I think that tank is miles better than this one. They're both sort of similar in shape, but the Object 416 just gets, you know, better camo. Yeah, just better camo, and sort of yeah, plays more of a bit of a sort of stealth role rather than this does. So we're bringing an end to that replay there. We managed to survive the T57 onslaught and did get a shot in return. We actually come top of the board there with 4.3k damage with 4 kills, so not a bad result in a tier 10 game there. 1500 assist, and I think we just picked up the first class in this game. But yeah, that's sort of just reasons why I've sort of put the Object 432 in third place. Anyway, moving on to number 2 now. At second place is the Centurion 7-1. This is the British medium tank that rolls onto the Centurion AX and the FE4202. And again, see the equipment on the top right hand screen that I'm running there, and also the perks will be coming up. So the 7-1 then, again, good mobility for a medium. You've got 410 meters view range, which, to be fair, I think is the best out of all 3 for its view range. It's quite a capable tank, to be honest. You've got high alpha on the Hesh rounds. You'll sort of be doing about 480 average per shot. Obviously, you can high roll into the 500 zones with those Hesh rounds if you if you get lucky RNG. Accuracy is really good. You've got 10 degrees of gun depression as well, and good shell velocity. So this tank sort of owns itself to ridgeline. Playing those ridge lines. The bad parts of it, the average, camo's pretty average, to be honest. You've got 20% fire chance, so you will get set on fire quite a lot. Also, those Hesh rounds, as good as they are for the alpha, that's when you're hitting lightly armored targets. When you sort of the 210 millimeters of penetration will actually, go through your targets. When you come up against sort of tier 10 type 5s, E100s, those super heavy types, even heavy tanks such as the IS-7, you will start to struggle. You will struggle with those heat rounds, and the standard rounds are going to be not that much better, to be honest. So that's obviously a bad part of the tank. Has got a bit of a long reload, but naturally because of those Hesh rounds, that's why it's going to sort of make that reload a little bit higher. You've got 2.3 second aim time, but again, not too much at the end of the world. I think that's probably why I've gone for gun lane drive as opposed to vert stabs, to try and bring that sort of that aiming time a little bit down, because the accuracy actually isn't too bad, and accuracy on rotation, but it's just that time it takes to aim the tank in. So, but again, overall, another tank that I did actually enjoy. It's sort of like it's like playing a tier 9 Drogon essentially, even an Earthshaker I guess, but a little bit better. And yeah, when those Hesh shells slap, it's just immense fun. You can really get a kick out of it, and we're just playing with the standard rounds here. We're on Nebelberg, and again bottom tier, but we've come to this corner location we've got here, so we've managed to sort of get a little bit of map control. And what we're doing at the moment is we're just popping shots into tanks that we can sort of catch outright. We are getting spotted by this medium tank that's just ahead of us, and yeah, unfortunately there's not much we can do about that without sort of possibly starting to exchange shots, and I think he's hull down as well, so it may be tricky to get any sort of shots in. I don't want to take any damage if I'm not going to sort of give any in return, because that's not a very good trade. And again, just sort of waiting to see what happens at that Centauro, and he does actually get shot for 700 damage as well, so I think one of our tank destroyers managed to catch him, which picks up that assist for us there, our first bit of assist on the board. Also brings that that Centauro down to sort of a potential sort of free shot to most of our team. Like I say, if that TD can get another shot into him, it puts him down to a one shot to us. So, but I think the Centauro may have moved. He may have had enough of that spot, and is decided to move out. Unfortunately, we should have let that gun aim a little bit more. We were trying to get rid of that Bulldog. We're playing a bit risky here because we kind of stopped out in the open, but I wanted to get rid of that light tank because, yeah, again, Nebelberg's sort of quite a big open map, and I don't want light tanks sort of spoiling the fun at the end of the game if there's sort of only a few tanks left. So thought it was sort of quite detrimental really to get rid of that light tank. We managed to do that, picking up our first kill. We're only on 1400 damage. It's been a bit of a slow burning game. We've just been lit up here and we're getting targeted. Now unfortunately we do take a shot there and we actually get our Armour damage. That wasn't very that wasn't great, to be honest. And yeah, I guess I'm probably just a bit more lucky that I wasn't further forward. Now I think we spot the culprit that may have actually lit us up, which is this Progetto. He looks AFK to me, so yeah, not really. Looks to me, yeah, I think he is AFK, to be honest, and I need to get rid of the Progetto because he's probably the one that kept me spotted, to be honest, or lit me up. So it's just best to get rid of that AFK tank so I don't have that issue. We then managed to get a shot into the Centauro that I think we were shooting at earlier, taking him out for our third kill of the game. And we're starting to progress this game now. We're 2 tanks ahead. It's not completely won yet. Unfortunately, we move out when that, Ragnarok just gets spotted as we move. This isn't great. It shoots our Armour and actually puts us onto a one-shot. I think we did manage to snap a shot in there, but we have taken an incredible amount of damage there for not very much reward. But I guess I wanted to just push up and actually take control of this position again, pushing into the enemy team, taking away that map control. But we've done it at a very big cost there to all our health points pretty much, and now we're sort of on 158 hit points. We have to kind of be really careful. That Type 61 managed to get a shot into us, but you can see the good turret armor there that the 7-1 holds. Like pretty much all Centurion variants, the turret armor is it is a real plus point for these tanks. It's always going to bounce quite a bit. we're just sort of poker. We're just waiting to see if anything is going to give us an opportunity to get a shot in. But like I say, we're not taking too many risks because of the hit points that we are on, or limited amount, should I say. Do get a shot into that Leopard 1, who does try getting a shot in return, but luckily he misses. He's now on a one shot, and I think he's probably going to be sort of thinking twice before he pokes out there. Try and see if we can get a shot into that medium tank down there, which we managed to. Now the medium tank is running away, and with 3 tanks left, I'm sort of confident we can get a shot in. But yeah, unfortunately, we didn't quite aim that shot well enough. We've loaded up the Hesh now for artillery, but I suspect the artillery is probably going to get taken out, before we manage to get there. And now there's just 1 tank remaining, which is a medium tank. And we're going to see if we can sort of get the jump on that medium tank potentially. I'm not entirely sure where he is, but he's just been lit up on the hill here. So there is a chance for us to get some more damage out of this game just yet. Just sneaking up, going to see if we get a shot into the turret, letting the gun aim in there. Unfortunately, it doesn't quite catch the cupola, and we don't do enough damage to take the kill. But yeah, just a bit of splash damage there. And there we go. We come top of the board with just over 4k damage with 3 kills, and I think we picked up 1,000 assistance there with 1,400 blocked. So there we go, another half decent medium tank there at tier 9, which is the Centurion 7-1. And now we're going to move on to our first pick of Rank the Tank, which is the Sharpshooter. So your Sharpshooter is your tier 9 mercenary mercenary medium tank, and we're on Hidden Village on this one. And yeah, so I'll sort of go through why I think sort of this one deserves a #1 spot. As always, you can see the sort of top right hand corner, the equipment and perks that we run on this tank. The Sharpshooter for me, it's got really good turret armour. It's obviously sort of based off a Chieftain turret. You've got very good accuracy. You've got 10 degrees of gun depression on this, so you can sort of get up on those ridge lines and play it effectively, a bit like the Centurion 7-1. You have got excellent shell velocity, and you have got some real nice alpha. You've got 390 per shot, which is really good. You know, you can sort of really put the hurt on those sort of enemy tanks. It has got average view range though, and the penetration values are quite poor, to be honest. They're not in fact, they're, apart from maybe sort of the 7-1, because obviously 7-1's running Hesh, so it's going to be a little bit different, but it's not that great. It's definitely not as good as the Object 432. So especially at distance as well, obviously penetration values on the APCR drop off quite dramatically, but they're not so great on the AP either. And as you know, we sort of with the Centurion, we've got 20% internal fire chance as well, so that's not great. But on the Hidden Village here, we've not done too bad. We are getting hard aimed by artillery, but we have we've sort of put in a little bit of damage, and we've sort of stayed hold down. Do get a shot into that Skoda, but unfortunately we do take a shot in return. We now have to deal with this Progetto. We've still got artillery looking at us. Progetto seems to be distracted by by something else at the back. You see we get a shot in with roll for 400 there, so it's a nice roll there for a tier 9 tank. We get another shot into the Progetto before he gets unfortunately taken out by the pesky Vigilante. Now we're going to try and see if we can get a shot into this pattern. Try and sort of go for the turret cheeks there, just in the hope that we might be able to pen. Sometimes you can, sometimes you can't. Again, just sort of staying hold down as best we can. Only do a critical hit there to the pattern's turret. But we're just sort of, again, keeping hold down as best as possible. Try and see if we can maybe sneak one into that cupola. Unfortunately, we just don't aim properly there. Vigilante's now gone in, and I assume that, well, I thought the pattern was actually going to turn his attention to the Vigilante, but Vigilante is by our right-hand side, so maybe he's not got a shot onto him. Now we're starting to actually aim for the turret, yeah, for the cupola in the turret, and we are starting to pen. And that's all I'm going to aim for now. The pattern's having no luck penning us because we're just literally keeping our turret hidden. We managed to sneak another one in there before the T95 rolls around and takes him out. So up to 3.7k damage already with 1 kill. Not a bad start to the game. We've got, you know, majority of our hit points left still. We're over halfway on our hit point pool, so we've got some hit points to play with. And now I'm just sort of moving in as quickly as possible because I want to pick up a bit more damage, but I'm sort of just concerned that the team are going to start sweeping in now. Unfortunately, we couldn't get a shot onto that tank that was just leaving this area. And now I'm going to try and poke and hope that I can get some spots, but looking at it, doesn't look like it's going to happen. We do sneak a shot into that light tank that's over there, that Sheridan I think it is. The FE gets taken out by our friendly Vigilante, which is good. We don't have to worry about getting hit by the FE. Trying to see if that Sheridan will poke, but just doesn't appear to be. But then we get a shot into the side. But then this Kanya Panzer decides to come steamrolling in. Which we wasn't even aware of, just literally, yeah, just come out of nowhere. But the Vigilante tried doing a good job of taking him out, but unfortunately just, yeah, didn't get enough time to manage to take that guy out. And yeah, just unfortunately just wasn't paying attention to our mini-map, and we got caught out there. But what we'll do is we will skip on to the results screen and see how we got on. So there we go. We ended up that game with just over 5.1k damage, picking up the 1 kill and 1700 assists, blocking just over 1900 damage, picking up the ace tanker at the same time. And yeah, again, just sort of showing off the Sharpshooter. And yeah, that's why I have gone for that tank as our #1 spot. So yeah, that is it for the video, guys, and for Rank the Tank. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please feel free to like and subscribe. Drop a comment below as well. Yeah, if you sort of agree or disagree with the selection, how would you rank them? I'm always happy to hear your thoughts, guys. And as always, I'll catch you next time.
Uh-oh.